From high atop the battlements of Castle Curmudgeon, where we are a sanctuary jurisdiction for illegal aliens as long as they arrive in interdimensional spaceships from the planet Prohibido. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. Welcome to the Blast Radio. So good to have you with us tonight. Here's your golden age of Western civilization news roundup for the week ending 15 August 2025. Dateline Washington, Monday, 11 August. A group of prominent elected Democrats, including Maryland Governor Wes Moore, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Maryland Congressman Glenn Ivey, joined forces earlier this week to express their outrage over President Donald Trump using his constitutional powers to attempt making our nation's capital no longer be the most violent, crime-ridden dystopian hellscape in the entire Western Hemisphere. They issued a joint press release on Monday, and do we have that statement, Jim Eagle? Thank you. The statement reads as follows. Bad Orange Man, January 6th, fascist authoritarian, end quote. So, needless to say, a very sober and well-reasoned list of grievances. Word has it the White House press office was working late into the night on Monday, preparing a list of detailed rebuttals. Upon being informed that Article 1 of the Constitution and the D.C. Home Rule Act of 1973 both give the president broad, unreviewable authority to deploy federal, military, and law enforcement assets in Washington City in any manner he sees fit, Governor Moore was quoted as saying, "I've never heard of those things. I'll have to check with my staff, but he is still a very bad orange man," end quote. Speaker Emerita Pelosi was quoted as saying, "Sorry, I'm afraid our connection's breaking up, and I need to go run to the store for some denture adhesive anyway," end quote. And Congressman Ivey was quoted as saying, "Fuck you, go to hell, and also fuck you, because I've just received this week's Party Talking Points memo, and it says we should use a lot of goddamn profanity because it makes us seem really fucking relatable, and also, fuck you, you fucking motherfucker," end quote. Dateline Sacramento, Tuesday, 12 August. California State Assemblyman Carl DeMaio, who's a Republican, believe it or not, said earlier this week that the attempt by Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom to seek voter approval for unilaterally redrawing California's congressional districts is both illegal and unconstitutional, and he ain't wrong. It's a fun little quirk of the California Constitution that you can take pretty much any question and put it to a referendum of the voters. If you're an ordinary citizen or group of citizens, you have to spend many months and many millions of dollars collecting the requisite amount of signatures in order to place the question on the ballot. But if you're the governor, all you need is the rubber stamp of the state assembly that's made up almost exclusively of your own dutiful party apparatchiks. You remember that old Saddam Hussein video where he's sitting at the front of the room with a bunch of armed men behind him and he's saying, "Come on, who wants to oppose me next? Don't be shy." That's pretty similar to what a California State Assembly session looks like in the year 2025, except without the guns, because obviously guns are icky. So they just throw glitter bombs at the dissenters, and they are then dragged off to the execution room by a squad of specially trained drag queens. Sorry, I meant drag queens of color. We're not a bunch of barbarians here. DeMaio lays out 3 justifications for why Newsom can't do the thing he is attempting to do. Number 1, because federal law, state case law, and the state constitution have prohibitions against mid-cycle redistricting. Number 2, because the state constitution prohibits any action by the legislature to do the thing he wants to do. And number 3, because the state constitution prohibits partisan gerrymandering. And Newsom has come right out and said, yeah, this totally is designed to eliminate Republican seats and add Democrat seats. But the governor has issued a very detailed, very eloquent, very high-minded refutation of the charges leveled by Mr. DeMaio. And do we have that statement, Jim Eagle? Thank you. The statement reads as follows. Quote, Orange Man bad, literally Hitler, end quote. Dateline New York, Wednesday, 13 August. An MS-13 gang member currently serving a 21-year sentence for the murders of 2 minor children has sued President Donald Trump, demanding that he be recognized as a woman and moved to a female prison. Oscar Contreras Aguiar, who goes by the name now Fendi G Sky, with 2 Ys, just like the Swedish vodka brand, who is currently serving time for the 2016 murders of a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old, says the Trump administration and the Bureau of Prisons are inflicting cruel and unusual punishment upon him because he decided late last year that he's really been a chick all along. And if I was a cynical man, I might suspect he just wants to go to a women's prison so that he can stick his tallywhacker in something more enjoyable than what he has to choose from at the men's prison. But thankfully, I'm not a cynical man. and I would never dream of questioning the ulterior motives of a double child killer who named himself after a bottle of Swedish vodka. In the complaint, Mr. Contreras, or Ms. Swedish Vodka, as the case may be, makes the claim that, quote, transgender women prisoners in men's prisons face harsher, more degrading treatment than their cisgender counterparts, end quote. The statement was met with great alarm by Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, who has pledged to drop everything he is doing, fly immediately to the New York penitentiary, and drink many shots of Swedish vodka with Mr. Contreras until such time as this unconscionable miscarriage of justice has been remedied to his satisfaction. Senator Van Hollen said in a statement, do we have a copy of that statement, Jim Eagle? Thank you. The statement reads as follows, quote, Orange Man bad, I love MS-13, margaritas, and Swedish vodka, end quote. Dateline Hollywoodland, Thursday, 14 August. In a recent interview on NBC's Late Night with Seth Meyers, the actress Sharon Stone credited what she called her middle American values with helping to guide her through some of life's rough patches, explaining, quote, I ended up raising 3 unbelievably wonderful young men because I started out with wholesome middle American values. And now we're in a place where these values are being considered incidental. They aren't. And after a bit of inane banter, she continued, quote, I wouldn't have survived. I wouldn't be a sober, healthy, working mom who was able to take 3 adopted kids and do it by myself with the help of wonderful nannies if I didn't come from grounded moral values, end quote. And hey, I guess the duty falls to this reporter to say the thing that we are all thinking. Only in America can you be a woman whose primary claim to fame is being the author of the first split beaver shot in a major Hollywood motion picture and claim with a straight face that something called middle American values enabled you and your wonderful, amazing succession of Latino domestic servants to shepherd 3 young boys into adulthood without dressing them up in women's clothes and having their genitals hacked off, which I guess in the context of Hollywood parenting, maybe that really is as close to middle American values as we're ever going to get. You gave birth to 3 male children, and they were all still male children when they turned 18. But you never could have pulled it off without Lupe and Consuelo and Maria. Well, until Maria got deported, and then Lupe and Consuelo were on their own. Hell, those are such traditional middle American values. It's almost like goddamn Little House on the Prairie up in here. I haven't felt so traditionally American since that time Mrs. Cleaver asked Mr. Cleaver if he was a little bit hard on the beaver last night. And if there is a deeper lesson here to be learned by young women in America, I think it's this. It's totally fine to become famous by showing your vagina on camera, and if it's a good vagina, you might one day be able to afford a cadre of illegal aliens to raise your children because, let's face it, the less time they spend around their mother, the more of a chance they have to reach adulthood with all of their wedding tackle attached. Dateline Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Friday, 15 August. Little League Baseball released a statement this week in which the organization condemned what it claims is the continued proliferation of bettors gambling on Little League World Series games. And yes, right off the top, if you're placing wagers on goddamn Little League baseball games, it's probably fairly safe to say you have a rather severe compulsive gambling problem. Like, seriously, how do you arrive at a point in life where you're calling your bookie because you want to lay down some action on today's Little League World Series game? Hey, Big Jimmy, I got a hot tip that the Puerto Rico pitcher's got a sore arm, so give me 5 large on the Taiwan kids at minus 500, will ya? Dude, you are betting on 12-year-olds. But did you already get down on all the pro wrestling matches and you just couldn't get through the rest of your day without something else to bet on? And please, don't even think about having half a conscience or anything resembling a basic sense of decency and confining your gambling activities to things where the participants are, I don't know, adult professionals, because damn it, you might have the chance to wreck the innocent of some preteen children, and you might even make a few bucks in the process, so everybody wins, right? Because we know what happens in sports, any sport, every sport, once it starts getting infiltrated by scumbag gambler sacks of shit. It's a tale as old as time, really. If the bookies are going to lay odds on Little League games, then people will bet on them. And when people bet on sporting events, the inevitable, unavoidable result is that players start getting bribed to throw games. And you're going to do that with 12-year-olds. Nobody gets to have the innocence of honest amateur competition, not even freaking 7th graders. According to a statement from Little League Baseball Incorporated, quote, Little League is a trusted place where children are learning the fundamentals of the games and all the important life lessons that come with having fun, celebrating teamwork, and playing with integrity. And no one should be exploiting the success and failures of children playing the game they love for their own personal gain. And I'm sure lucky here because the over-under on the length of that statement was 350 characters, and I took the under, so I just won me $200, baby. That's all the Roundup you get. I know you wanted more Roundup, but there isn't anymore, and that's just too damn bad. And I'm going to transmit you into the custody of my co-parent on this program, the one and only, your friend and mine, the big hominid himself, Mr. Caucasian Sasquatch.